Good day and God bless. Welcome to And It Came to Pass. I am Dana. Today I want to have a quick little discussion about planting seeds. Now, if you're a believer, I don't think it's necessarily your job to go out and preach or to try and convince anybody that God is real and they should come to Jesus. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I don't think it's something you need to do. And I'd like to give you a quick demonstration of that, but also a demonstration about how important it is to talk about it. Even if nobody's listening, you don't think anybody's listening. As a child, I grew up around people who believed in God. It was never preached on me. I was never told I had to go to Sunday school or church or anything like that at all. I did go on the special occasions, the traditions, because my grandfather sang at his Pentecostal church. He was in the choir. Now, he was a big believer, but he never preached. He did talk about God, but he never preached, never tried to convince anybody. My mother, when I was a little older, in the range of, say, 9 to 12 or so, she studied every single Wednesday night with the Jehovah's Witnesses. We had this wonderful elderly lady named Dorcas who would come over and do one-on-one studies with my mom. And the Awake magazines and the Watchtower magazines were always around because they gave them for free, right? I read them here and there. I even got the Bible on cassette tape from that lady. Unfortunately, I never once listened to it. Never. I thought it was really cool, but I never listened to it. I did read the occasional story in those magazines, and one of them did affect me greatly for many years. But I never had a yearning to discover who God was or be a believer or any of that. I was a kid. I just wanted to live as a kid, have fun, experience life. And then when I got into high school, I started to stray far, far away from God. And I started to lean more towards what was being taught in school, which is evolution or evolution. And I went down that path for quite some time, and I went down a very destructive lifestyle. And I stayed there for a very, very long time. And even when I got married, I made it quite clear that I didn't want God even mentioned at my wedding, so he wasn't invited. And that kind of a wedding anyway isn't a godly thing, that's for sure, because you're looking to the law, the court system, to give you a marriage certificate. It has nothing to do with God. That's not marriage in God's eyes, as far as I can tell. Anyway, I'm kind of digressing here. I went down the New Wave path for a while. I was all about the book The Secret. I had the movie. I had a couple of the books. I was being thankful every day, the whole bit. And I ventured down the alien path for a while. Dr. Stephen Greer was a big influence during that time. And he's pretty convincing, man. I'll give him that. He's very, very convincing. Last I heard, and I could be wrong, I think he's kind of changed his mind on some things. But whatever. It's not my concern. So I've gone down many paths. But during that whole time, every once in a while, what if would pop into my head. And here's a little strange anomaly. Again, I'm digressing, sorry, but I'm just kind of rambling, right? I'm pondering, I'm thinking about these things, and I want to put it out here. Whether I ever upload it or not, I just want to get my thoughts out. I do this a lot. So, and here's the problem with that. Now I lost my train of thought. I forgot where I was going with that. Now I remember. What was it, back in the 90s, I think? There was a point, there was actually many points like this, but there was a specific point where I didn't have cable, and I was a big TV watcher. So all I had was a local station and the Canada-wide station, CBC. And on my local station, during the weekdays, there was always a show on. And I hated the show, I couldn't stand it, but I would watch it every now and then. And even though I was as far away from God as I could possibly get, I wanted nothing to do with him. Just somebody talking about him irked me. Like, it physically irked me. I could feel myself getting angry or turned off. But this particular show every single time I caught it, made me cry at the end. And that show was Touched by an Angel. Now, I've never really paid attention to that show. I've never gone back to look at it. I'm sure it probably has nothing to do with the gospel. It's on TV after all. But who knows? But I always found that strange. And like I said, I always had the what if that would pop up in the back of my head every once in a while. Now, I want to jump forward to present day, because those seeds were planted, right? And that's why I kept saying what if. In my life, since I've come back, not since I've come back, not since I've realized, but since I started getting off my butt and actually looking for God, trying to understand Him, figuring out the relationship, I have been watching Bible studies on the computer like mad since 2020. And I'm always listening to either the Bible or a Bible study on my phone. Like, it's pretty much always going. And I talk about it a lot. I don't preach at people, but I do talk about it a lot. You know, if I'm having a casual conversation with my sister or one of my friends or whatever, and they bring something up, we'd be like, you know, that's actually in the Bible. And I will say what it is. And I've been doing that for quite a while. I'm not preaching, just making, notice of it, bringing it to people's attention. So today is August 26th, 2023, I believe. It's Saturday, whatever day that was, 25 or 26. This past Monday, which I believe was the 21st, actually, I guess I have to take it back a little further. My son and his girlfriend have a cat, and that cat had kittens a while ago. They were going to keep the cat and one of the kittens, and my 12-year-old niece took one of the kittens as well. So on Monday, it was the day to take their kitten and my niece's kitten to go and get fixed. So the appointment was made. I'm basically the one who drives in this family, so I picked them up, grabbed the cats, picked up my niece and the cat, dropped them off at the vet, and then we left. We came back here to hang out because it's a lot closer to the vet than where my son lives. So we're hanging out here for a couple hours, and the vet called, and their kitten that they were keeping, its heart stopped beating when they put it under, when they gave it the anesthesia. And as a result, because those two kittens are related, they woke the other one up and didn't carry forward with anything. So we all jumped in the van and rushed down there, and I stayed in the van because I'm really not good with that kind of stuff. I never have been. And when they came out, they told me that when they saw the cat, its tongue was sticking out, and the whole bit. I'm sure you can imagine. You've probably experienced this yourself. But when my son's girlfriend was holding the cat, it started purring, and then it started opening its eyes, and then it started breathing on its own. They had to have CPR on this cat to revive it, and then it was being fed oxygen because it couldn't breathe on its own. But that all started to change when my son's girlfriend started to hold the cat. And so they ended up coming out, and the vet said they wanted to do some stuff, so we left. And as you can imagine, on the ride home, everybody was upset and crying and everything. And my 12-year-old niece, to put it gently, is rebellious. She's I'm not going to say anything negative, but let's just say she's very rebellious and outspoken, and definitely doesn't come across as somebody who would even entertain the thought of God. So in the van, while everybody's crying and she's a little hysterical, she starts saying things like, God won't let this happen. God's good. God's going to fix everything. And it brought a bit of a smile to my face, but almost made me cry at the same time, which isn't good if you're the one driving, right? So I'm not saying I'm taking credit for any of that, but seeds were planted around her, right? Even though she's not looking, and I don't know if anything will ever come of this, but the seeds were planted because she's heard this a lot throughout the last couple of years, specifically. So I just want to throw that out there as a lesson for all of us to keep in mind. That talk about it. Even if you don't understand it yet, just talk about it out loud. Meditate on this, right? Roll it over in your mind. Think about it. Say it out loud. Ask the questions. You'll get the answers. You might not get them right that second, but you'll get them. And it might be background noise for other people. And most people don't realize, but the background noise gets into your subconscious. And what actually runs your life? I want you to think about this. Your daily life, the stuff you take for granted that you just do automatically, that's your subconscious running that. You don't even have to think about it. So background noise, the things you hear in the background, do affect your life. Those are seeds being planted. So you need to be very mindful about what your background noise is. It's one of the reasons I stopped watching TV or even just having it on in the background years ago. I don't even own a TV. I haven't in years. I have zero interest in that stuff. But the background, plant those seeds. Talk about it. You don't know if that seed will germinate. You don't know if that seed will start to take off and grow. And even if it does, it might not ever come to full maturity. But plant those seeds. The more you plant those seeds, the better the odds that someone, because of something you said, will come to Jesus. And that is amazing. And you'll probably never know it. You might find out, if you're lucky enough to obtain eternal life, you might find out that, hey, look at that crowd of people over there. That's because of you. Imagine that. Don't stop talking. Start talking. Meditate on it. Ask questions. Just talk about it. The subconscious is an amazing thing for people that they don't even understand. Look back on your life and I bet you can come up with a lot of different scenarios throughout your life similar to what I've just brought to your attention here. Think about these things. Talk about these things. Praise God. Praise Jesus. Until next time, have a great day and God bless. Oh, in case you're curious, the cat did pass. But that was God's will. Look what happened out of that. Look what might happen out of that. Have a great day and God bless.